man, Hayden Deegan, that boy was on fire at Washougal, guys. I'm telling you. So like, Moto 1, he gets that nice hole shot, brother. He's handling his business, okay. And I didn't expect it, okay. I mean, I even made a video. I was like, nah, ain't no way. This kid ain't gonna get it in. He's settling in a little bit. He's kind of where he's gonna be. Joe's gonna get him. Levi's gonna get him. Daggone Tom Vial's gonna get him. But nope. No, I'm gonna tell you guys, and I don't know what's going on with Hunter these days, man. But I guess he's just going through a little bit of a rough time with all those injuries. Good thing they got a 2-week break. But let's break down Washougal, okay? The pine trees. That track is beautiful, by the way. I love the way that track looks. I know they say the roost is ridiculous. I don't want to play in that. It's a beautiful track. But let's break it down. Let's actually talk about these motos. Let's talk about Hayden Deegan's performance in Moto 1, just really getting out front and just making it work, man. Pulling the gap on Justin Cooper, pulling the gap out on everybody. Hunter, I want to give a big shout out to Hunter because Hunter did ride pretty good. He rode really good at Washougal. He just didn't get a good start. He got a terrible start. So here's Hunter trying to work his way through the pack. He's got, what's his name? A Hammaker, man. The dude is getting good starts. Seth Hammaker's been getting really good starts. I'm keeping my eye on that guy because at Pro Circuit, Kawasaki, them kids get hurt a lot. Austin Fortner comes back weekend before. Now Austin Fortner gets busted up off the gate, but you got Seth Hammaker doing his thing. I don't know where my boy Joe was. Joe can't pass. Joe don't get a good start. Joe can't pass. He can't move through the pack. Washougal's already a really tough track to pass on. I mean, Stu talks about that throughout the entirety of the race, right? He's talking about how tough that track is to pass on. There's only a few good places. I listened to Stu. He know what he's talking about. But there's a point in Moto 2 where we're like, nah, I don't know, man, because somebody made a pass that looked real smooth. And we'll get to that here in a minute. So Hayden's out there burning biscuits, running laps, doing work, looking real fine. Hunter's moving through the pack. Seth Hammaker's up there. You got Levi Kitchen just really, really doing some solid riding, man. And that being his home track, I almost anticipated that Levi Kitchen would get a better start and be out front for a longer period of time, which I'm not gonna knock him because the kid still rode very well. Levi Kitchen still rode very well. Pretty much proud of him. Now, let's roll back to this Hunter Lawrence thing here. There was a point in the race near the end of it where Hunter's coming up through that pack and he catches Justin Cooper, which can anybody tell me like anyway, he catches Justin Cooper, man, and he puts him almost where Cooper got busted up the year before. Because I don't know if you guys remember that, Justin Cooper at Washougal was leading the race, lost the race because that dark light section, with the shade from the trees, and that little turn section, man, it busted him up. He got tore up there, lost the race. When Hunter comes in with that bit of heat, man, and kind of gets him disheveled, pops him out of the rut. And Hunter's coming, man. And I really thought Hunter Lawrence was gonna be able to put in that push and that drive to probably catch, Hayden. And he was reeling Hayden in. He really wasn't reeling Hayden in Moto 1. Like you were like, dang, man, if he had a little bit more time, he might have actually been able to catch Hayden in Moto 1. If he could have passed Levi Kitchen a little bit quicker, but Levi was riding a really good ride, man. You could watch Levi just riding the track the best it was because it's already hard to pass on. But you watched Hunter, come through the pack. He made good passes almost in the same area right after that whoop section. He just ran it in a little bit better. He looked really smooth at that section. You could tell he was setting it up almost. He did it 3 different times, and each time you're like, oh, he's setting it up, man. He's gonna make it happen, and he did. So Hunter actually had a really good race, Moto 1 at Washougal. I was stoked about it. But then we jump in and we look at Moto 2, right? We're checking out Moto 2, right? I'm pumped on Moto 2. I'm like, ooh, it's gonna be fun. We're gonna see whether or not Hunter gets a good start. This is gonna be a good battle for the race, for the entirety of the race, and it really was. I mean, we still had a grand show, just off that gate, man. Them nice spicy YZs with the 93 plastics, bro. They look so good, and they was 1, 2, 3 with Justin Cooper, Levi Kitchen, and Hayden Deegan running that top 3 right there. And that was pretty wicked, man. I'm not gonna lie, for them to have those specialized plastics, that was pretty cool, man. I kind of like there for a minute. I already like the Yamaha styles, like when I don't really want to buy one. I was almost like, bruh, maybe I need to kick back and get me one of them, get them plastic, because them things look good. They really did. But anyway, getting to it, you had Cooper, you had Kitchen, and you had Deegan, and they was riding. I mean, they was pushing that track very well. I ain't gonna lie. And I there for a minute, dude. Hammaker was sitting there running a really good race, like really solid. I mean, Seth Hammaker, Max Volan, Moto 2, those two guys looked really good. All right. And I've talked about this entire 250 field having potential to have some great racing, some really good riders when the track suits them, when the track doesn't suit them, it kind of balances some things out. And I mean, Max Volan's made my list. He's a rider in my opinion that has been skilled. He just hasn't been there. No podiums on that kid's 1.5 years so far. Right? No podiums yet. He's been working towards it. We thought maybe he was gonna put himself in a position to get one in Moto 1 or Moto 2. He didn't get it. He didn't get it. But you didn't even see Pierce Brown. We didn't really talk about Joe Shimoda. Moto 2 was a really good moto, but some of the riders did exactly what I anticipated. RJ Hampshire did what RJ Hampshire does. Yeah, he's there, he puts in the charge, but he still didn't really show up. I don't think Washougal is a RJ Hampshire track. RJ is so aggressive on the bike. Not to say he doesn't have good throttle control. He's so aggressive on the bike. I feel like RJ didn't really have a chance. Shimoda, again, it was already going to be difficult for him to pass on this track. So even if he did catch anybody, it probably took him 10 minutes to get by anybody. So, we couldn't even talk about some of the people I was really, really, really excited to see race. They just didn't get a good start, and then they couldn't pass, couldn't get anywhere. But, you know, 1 through 5, right? With Cooper, you had Levi Kitchen, you had Hayden Deegan, you had Seth Hammaker, and you had old boy Hunter Lawrence, which I was watching Hunter, man. He made some really good passes, especially on Seth. And then, he's coming up on Deegan, dude. And when he came up on Deegan, I was like, all right, yeah, here we go, guys. This is the battle. This is it. It's what everybody wanted to see. And I think everybody who watched that race said the exact same thing. When dude washed out, we was like, gosh, yeah, and he just threw it away like that. Hammaker came back and passed him like, but Stu said it, man. You got to watch that area because it's kind of like a strobe light. I don't know. When I raced, the track that I raced had a drop down section that went into the woods and it came back out. And it would be tree coverage at a portion of the day. Like, so if we raced on Sundays, they do that extended track and it would go dark light. So I know exactly what he's referring to. But Washougal isn't just one dark, one light. That track's got a lot of that coverage on it. So literally, you could almost see it about to happen when Hunter was coming on the outside of Deegan and he washed out. You almost could see that was going to happen because he was just coming in, man. He had that heat. I believe in his mind, he was like, I've got to close this gap, right? I think Hunter says in that moment, he's coming off the outside and he's swinging. He's like, I'm going to keep this gap closed because where has he been passing the majority of the time? After the whoop section, he's been making his passes. It's when he's been closing his gap the most throughout Moto 1. Moto 2, he did it. So I believe that in his mind, he's already planning to be right on top of Hayden when he goes to that whoop section. And the only thing is, I feel like, that he's thinking too far ahead, maybe. I don't know. The flashing lights, thinking ahead, the pressure of wanting to get past Deegan, that way he can maintain this points lead. And he just made a mistake. Like Stu even said, there really wasn't anything there. It wasn't like he got cross-rutted. It wasn't like anything going on. It was just like mental. I think that was a mental thing. Like, I had a lot going on. I'm trying to line this up, set myself up. I got to be quick around this outside so I can get right up on him on the inside when we go through the whoop section. And bow. There it was. Washed it out. And as soon as he did, I was like, dang, there we go. There was a battle that we were looking for. But what was beautiful about it is that wasn't it, man. Hayden Deegan had something in store for us, bro. He put it down. Hayden put it down. He caught up to Levi. As soon as he got that open track and that kid could focus, he closed that gap on Levi Kitchen, made a really clean pass on Levi Kitchen, and kept moving. And then I was like, ain't no way my boy Justin Cooper's going to get caught. Cooper's got a good lead, man. Cooper's set up. He's going to be all right. But fatigue kicks in. Daggone, you could see it. You could see it. You could see it in Justin Cooper's body, man. You could see the body language. And honestly, I'm not trying to take away from that pass, but I feel like at no other time would a pass like that have occurred? They've been talking about how difficult it is to make passes on this track throughout the entire 450 and 250 races. But Hayden somehow he gets in there, dude, and he makes the cleanest outside pass on Justin Cooper, but he doesn't stop there. Hayden doesn't stop at that pass, man. He doesn't just get out in front of him and just move on through. Hayden puts his foot down. All right, Hayden put that foot down, pedal to the metal, and really showcase like top notch, top tier, just riding. Right, he had no fatigue in him. He put in a last bit charge, and it was something. It was something spectacular because even Stu says normally you look at these rookies. You look at these rookies who come in. One of their biggest downfalls, the pitfall, is I ain't been racing 30-minute plus 2-lap motos. I've been doing these shorter races. Maybe I might go, like they said, I think 25 minutes on some of these professional amateur races, but I ain't going no 30 minutes. And it's crazy because I love to see Hayden doing well, but it's mind-boggling me right now that there are vets out there that are not in as good a condition or partially good as condition, right? Like I don't think there was any excuse for Justin Cooper unless he's got some pre-existing injuries from some of his accidents that he's had, earlier in the year. That shouldn't be a thing in at his point, in my opinion. Hunter might have the excuse of broken ribs and laying it down and giving him, you lay it down one time, that is a lot of fatigue, getting that bike back up and getting it going, and depending on how you fall, that is a lot of fatigue. But I don't think any of these any of these vets out there that have been on this track and been racing this track as long as they have, as compared to Hayden Deegan, should have any excuse, okay, to be tired. Like compared to him, like they should be equally as tired. The kid's 17, and they're 24. I don't think that age difference, that age gap means anything for fatigue because we could probably turn around. We could watch Eli Tomac go to that track, Chase Sexton go to that track, and then they ain't tired. They're older. They ain't tired. So it's like what are we doing on our practice days, man? Like what are you doing, Coop? What are you doing, man? So Justin Cooper, I think that he's maybe I think he wants wins, but I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know about Justin Cooper these days. I want to see him do well, but he ain't really been proving nothing. This whole 250 field, as competitive as they are, it's just like, what are we doing? Like, I expected a little more battle going on there. Stoked for Hayden because Hayden today at Washougal, Hayden proved that he can go 1-1 against that 250 field. The track may have been more of his style, you know what I'm saying? And it may have fit him perfect, but he did prove a point to say, I can go 1-1 as a rookie, as perfect as it is, right? Nobody really got hurt that was on his level, right? Nobody really crashed out that was on his level, right? Like the people he beat straight up. And, I was talking some mess about Hayden. I still believe that. I still think that rookie's getting his legs in there. I still think there's some consistency that he has that other riders don't have. I think there are riders that are faster than him that just don't put it together as well as he does every weekend. But this weekend at Washougal, that kid put it down. That kid said, shut up. I got this. Watch me. Yo, hold my milk is what that kid, he said, hold my milk. And that boy put it down. I mean, he zipped around. He looked really good. So it was really exciting to see Hayden Deegan really put it down. I was excited to watch that for real. But guys, that's the 250 Moto talk. All right. Mad love, big vibes, guys. Keep it. We're gonna have like a 2-week. We got like a 2-week break. Got like a 2-week break of none of that. So we're gonna be watching old footage, probably just trying to get that appetite feel. You know what I'm saying? How it is. But yo, mad love, big vibes, guys. And we'll catch you on the flip side. Keep it real.